ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सत्प्रत्ययाः किन्नु विहाय सन्तम् हृद्येशचिन्तारहितो हृदाख्यः कथं स्मरामस्तममेयमेकम् तस्य स्मृतिस्तत्र दृढैव चिन्ता मृत्युञ्जयं मृत्युभियाश्रितानाम् अहं मतिर्मृत्युमुपैति पूर्वम् अथ स्वभावादमृतेषु तेषु कथं पुनर्मृत्युधियोऽवकाशः सर्वैर्निदानं जगतोऽहमश्च वाच्यः प्रभुः कश्चिदपारशक्तिः चित्रेऽत्र लोक्यं च विलोकिता च पटः प्रकाशोऽप्यभवत् स एकः आरभ्यते जीवजगत्परात्म तत्त्वाभिधानेन मतं समस्तम् इदं त्रयं यावदहं मतिः स्यात् सर्वोत्तमाहं मतिशून्यनिष्ठा. We saw yesterday that all various contentions begin with this kind of a starting point. Arabhyate, the starting point for which is this intrigue. And what is this intrigue? Jiva, who am I? And then, who is this? Who are you? You means Jagat. Who are you? And what are all these things that I'm encountering every day and I cannot be without? And then finally, what? Who is this thing called Ishvara? Is it a he? Is it a she? Where is the location of Ishvara? You know, if you, in India, if they want to come to your house, they say, please send your location. Maybe they do that in America too, I don't know. Please send your location. So if you pray to Ishvara and say, Om Namah Shivaya, please send your location. What will Bhagavan say? Huh? What is the GPS? GPS, by the way, stands for Guru Paduka Stotram. Okay, yeah, maybe that is the way. Maybe that is the way. We don't know. and and so this is, you know, this whole thing about this location. People fight over it. No, no, no. This is my God. And where is my God? My God is in my heaven, not your heaven. I don't want anything to do with your heaven. It is God is in my heaven. And this is, you know, it's like a, what is it called? It's like a madhouse. You put a bunch of philosophers together, and then, you know, and then if you haven't gone mad already, rest assured that you will start questioning your sanity after being with them, especially after exposure to Vedanta. Before, okay, one can understand. But after exposure to Vedanta, all this does not make any sense at all. So, arabhyate jiva jagat paratma tattva abhidhanena matam samastam. So, the anvaya would be jiva jagat paratma tattva abhidhanena samastam matam arabhyate. So, all the mata means any kind of an ideology, any kind of an ideology, any kind of a belief system, any kind of an organized religion is also called mata. You know, more than two people should hold it. Then it becomes a mata. Okay, even if you hold it, it'll become a mata, but nobody cares because you're the only one. You're the only one touting it. But a small group of people holding it, then this is what it is. And then it is said in the next line, in the third line, idam trayam yavat aham matis syat. Yavat means until the I notion persists. I notion means the ahankara that is mistakenly aligned with, mistakenly attached to, mistakenly, what should I say, identified with what? The body, the mind, the senses, thoughts, beliefs, ideas, etc. as the be all and end all of itself. So that is when the problem arises. And therefore, yavat aham mati syat, until which time this kind of a wrong thinking persists individually and collectively, rest assured that Ishvara is in a box. Oh, Ishvara is in a box? Yes, in your head. In your buddhi, there is a box where Ishvara is locked up. Ishvara means you have to go to the temple. You have to go to, and then somebody will say, what temple? In your temple, my Ishvara is not there. Oh, your Ishvara, yes. My Ishvara is living in the church. My Ishvara is in the synagogue. My Ishvara is in a mosque. Like this, there are, they are convinced, and also they are convinced about the gender of Ishvara. It has to be a he. Why it has to be a he? Why can't it be a she? No, 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 no. It has to be a he. Okay, what does he look like? If you ask, then they will say he is formless. He is formless, but he has a gender. How? How does a formless thing have gender? And how does a formless thing, entity, occupy space? Formless, but he's in heaven. You know, this is the idea. This is not to disparage any religions, but it's to look at the belief systems in connection to a fully developed ahankar. Even in the Hindu tradition, we have strange beliefs, very very strange beliefs. By certain sects, we have the dualists, Dvaitavadis. What do they say? You have to. This is the ISKCON, and what will they say? You have to die in order to become one with Bhagavan. And then when if you are good, and then you die, and then you go to, what is that? Krishna heaven. And what is the name of Krishna heaven? Vaikuntha. You go to Vaikuntha. And then what happens there? You go to Vaikuntha and then you sit there, and then what happens? You play a stick dance with Bhagavan. You go to a place called Vrindavan, and then you play a stick dance, with little small sticks in hand. In Navaratri and all, you do this dance going around and round. So you play a dance with Bhagavan, and that is the concept of moksha. See, the concept of moksha also differs a lot. A lot. Moksha means liberation. So there is some idea that there is a sense of bondage, but the sense of bondage is seen to be real. Why? Because the ahankara is the one writing a note about it, writing a book about this bondage. It will the ahankara itself is mithya, but then how will mithya recognize another mithya? It won't. It will recognize it as satyam alone. Understand? It will recognize it as satyam alone. So the ahankara, which is tied to the body dysfunctionally, and then dysfunctionally and codependently connected to the mind, to the senses, to the sense of want and have and don't have, all these things. This ahankara will write a treatise about the ahankara and about the jiva and everything, from its own standpoint, which is just plain wrong. It will not say Ishvara is mithya, Ishvaratvam is mithya, Jivatvam is mithya. No, no, because I am writing it, I am experiencing it. Therefore, it is Satyam alone. It is incapable of looking at itself as mithya because it takes the experience as true. It takes these categories as true. Why? Because I have come up with it. If I have come up with it, it must be true. It must be real. So confusion because of this ahankara is a very costly confusion. It's a costly mistake made, centered on the I. And so therefore, this idea that, Bhagavan is of a particular type, this is what Bhagavan is, formless but requires space. And so then there is this sense that, okay, I am far away from this Bhagavan. That is also a shared notion, which is taken to be real. That I am alienated from Bhagavan is taken to be real. Because where is the alien? How is the alienation possible? Really. This is a new meditation. If you want to meditate, people say, oh, give me mantra, give me this. Here is a mantra for you. Here is an exercise for you, a meditational exercise. Try to go away from Brahman. Okay, I'll go far away to the ends of the earth. Ends of the earth is equal to Brahman. Okay, I will fly in a plane. Plane is just plain Brahman. And then what else? The air is Brahman, sky is Brahman. Okay, I'll hide underneath the ocean. Ocean is Brahman, water is Brahman. Then I'll just go to my house, which is maybe, outside the city. Outside the city is Brahman. Then I'll just retreat inside my mind. Your mind is also Brahman, your body is also Brahman. Where will you go? Where will you go to get outside of Brahman? I tell you, it's easier to have an out of body experience than an out of Brahman experience. Out of Brahman experience you cannot have. And so this idea that I am away, it's mithya. It's not even experientially true. You are not away, you are connected to everything because you try to do this meditational exercise for 5 seconds and you can't do it. You can't get away from Brahman even for 2 seconds. And so therefore what? So therefore this is the idea that I'm far away and the I is alienated from Brahman, wrong conclusion. And based on that wrong conclusion are conclusions about oneself. So you see how the conclusion about the distance from Ishvara leads one to come to wrong conclusions about the sense of the I. So what wrong conclusions? Oh, just how much time do we have? I'd like to ask so many wrong conclusions. Starting with I am bound. Wrong conclusion. Where are you bound? You are Satchidanandam Brahma. You are that Brahman which is free, which is unfettered. No, but I feel bound. Okay, that's a different thing. But the feeling is taken to be real. And if the feeling is taken to be real, then around the feeling, there is a philosophy which very, very quickly comes up about the nature of this bondage. What are the philosophies? Oh, I don't feel good about myself. And that not feeling good about myself, is connected to a sense of bondage. And so, therefore, there is this feeling of bad feeling. And why is there bad feeling? Because I just don't feel good about myself. I don't like myself. And I feel bad. I have done so many wrong things and all these things. Aha, guilt. Okay, you've done wrong things. Therefore, you are a sinner. This is the conclusion. So, you are a sinner. So, first, you come to the wrong conclusion. You take the guilt to be real. You take feelings to be real. Then you take the guilt to be real. And then after that, what? You deify the guilt into a philosophy. You are a sinner. And then, that's why people who have been raised in some of these mainstream religions, and then when they find Vedanta, they heave a sigh of relief. It's not about leaving the religion or anything like that. It's about understanding it deeply and understanding yourself deeply. Yes, there is a sense of guilt, and yes, it is a shared collective guilt. But is the guilt real? Seen from the standpoint of the whole, is the guilt real? Yes, it is real. Then why aren't you feeling guilty in sleep? If real means it should be non-negatable. Correct? It should not be negated any time, at any time. Real means Sat. Sat means Satyam. What is the definition? Abadhitam, non-negatable. Trikalepi tishtati. Second definition, it should be the same in all periods of time. So whether it is the Hindu tradition or the or Christianity or any ism, all these isms come from the narrow prism of this ahankar. That's what it is. All this is, it's not really an enlightened view of life. And if you look at saints in any religion, any tradition, and all these holy people, they have necessarily transcended the religion. You see that. They are not defined by any religion. They have transcended the religion. The need for the religion is gone. And so then the bondage is taken to be real based on some sense of guilt, shame, fear. And so if there is fear and there is shame, there is guilt, and what else? Of course, sorrow. Then how to remove it? I don't know how to remove it. And maybe God will come and remove it, or God will send somebody. And in the Hindu tradition, it is avatara, or it is some kind of, even in other traditions, there are avatars. And so somebody will come. So there is this need for the savior. You see how each wrong thing is what should I say? Standing on another one and another one and another one and another one. We are building castles in the air. Really. The first thing that one is away, that I suffer from alienation itself is the first wrong conclusion. I'm away from the whole. I am finite, wrong conclusion. Bhagavan is infinite, but I am finite. And then therefore, so wrong conclusion number one leads to wrong conclusion number two. I don't like, I am finite. What do you mean you're finite? Well, because I don't have this and I don't have that and I can't have this and I can't have that and I have done bad things and I don't like anybody else and I most of all don't like myself. Second wrong conclusion. And then what? So therefore I must be a sinner. So when did you sin? Just from birth itself I'm a sinner. And then what? And then, so now I have to find somebody who will help me who will save me from this situation. Another wrong conclusion. This makes one a sitting duck for all kinds of charismatic people and, and philosophies. Instead of really doing what Ramana Maharshi here is telling one to do, is to sit really just with yourself. Examine these fallacious conclusions. So you can't sort of say that I am bound and then look for a savior. This is because the first premise is itself wrong. What bandha? What, here there is no bandha we are talking about. Bandha means bondage. So the bondage here is an as though bondage. What do you mean by an as though bondage? The as though bondage means it is experienced. And so I have a sense of bondage, but it is not ultimately real because in sleep there is no bondage. In moments of happiness, there is no bondage. When I laugh, there is no bondage. When I am in my power, there is no bondage. When I am contented, there is no bondage. When I am grateful and appreciative and happy, there is no bondage. So the very fact that this concept of bondage comes and goes, that itself should be a clue that it is not real. But so therefore, here, if you go to the crux of the problem, it is what? Atma Ajnanam. Self-ignorance is the crux of the problem, and the self-ignorance fans aham mati fire. What is this aham mati? Aham iti mati. Aham means this ahankara, all these series of wrong conclusions, which is called anyatha jnanam. So there are two facets. We talked about this in the beginning, but it bears, repetition. There are two facets of the manifestation of ajnanam. The first facet is not knowing who I am. And the second one is therefore coming to wrong conclusions about the I. Animals only have one aspect of Atma Ajnanam. They don't know who they are. They don't know, they don't know that I am Brahman. They don't know that. They also suffer from Ajnana. But it takes a human being to come to this wrong conclusion. I don't know who I am. Therefore, what? Therefore, I have, I don't like myself. Therefore, I have this. Therefore, I have that. Therefore, I must be an idiot. So this is the typical snake rope situation. Instead of seeing the rope, I see the snake. Because of my own insecurity, because of my own fears, I see what I think there is. These are all wrong conclusions. And so not knowing, ajnanam, leads to subjective knowledge about the I, a wrong knowledge that is subjective and that is internalized as the I. This is what is ahankara here. This is what Ramana Maharshi refers to as the ahankara in all these verses. We will see this again and again. And this I notion gone rogue, this is what is the ahankara. The I notion that attaches itself to everything finite, that is the one that needs to be queried. How should it be queried? Of course, with the help of Shastra, with the help of teacher, etc. With the help of your own viveka to begin with, and then only this difficulty goes. And so, therefore, this particular verse very beautiful because it says that these distinctions, all these wrong distinctions between jiva, jagat, paratma, paramatma, is begun with this uh, wrongly placed, wrongly understood ahankara, wrongly identified ahankara, a mistaken ahankara, a fallacious ahankara, an ahankara that feels as though it is very guilty and it must have sinned a lot, whatever that means. And then an ahankara that feels itself to be the subject of papa, punya, subject of punarjanma, subject of all kinds of things. And this ahankara is dangerous because look at what it has done to the whole world. The whole world is cut up into pieces based on these kinds of wrong beliefs. So beliefs about the I lead to wrong beliefs about Ishvara and wrong beliefs about the Jagat, where it is just dripping with subjectivity. And as long as this subjectivity is there, then these differences will continue. How to remove the subjectivity from the world? Forget the world. Think of the inner world. The question should be rephrased. How to remove the subjectivity, the scales of subjectivity from my own eyes? Ajnana-timirandhasya jnananjana-shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I bow to that Guru. My salutations unto that Guru. And who is this Guru? The Guru who suddenly became a doctor. How did this Guru become a doctor? An, an ophthalmologist. How? Because the Guru is a specialized eye doctor. And the Guru removes the cataract of Dvaita. When you start seeing double, then this double vision is removed. The double vision is because of certain problems in the eye, cataract, and what is that other one called? Macular degeneration, etc., etc. And so these are the problems with the eye. And then sometimes for cataract, when it's there, you cannot see properly. Everything seems all smoky and dark. So we need an operation. So the cataract is removed and you can see clearly again. Here the cataract is the cataract of Timira, wrong notions, Ajnanam gone rogue, and here and influencing the Ahankara. And so all these wrong notions are just what, removed with the cataracted vision is removed. A vision of division is removed, and then you see everything very, very clearly. Without the Shastra, without the teacher, this cannot be accomplished. Even though we find that one of the advice given by Ramana Maharshi himself is to sit and ask the question, who am I? Even that particular sadhana, which has become very famous, who am I sadhana, can work only if the mind has already undergone a lot of shastra and a lot of growth, emotional maturity and growth. Otherwise, it will be just like the ahankara writing its own biography. Who am I? Who am I? What answer will come for the one who hasn't, who is not ready for this question? The answer that comes is idiot. I am not a good person. Who am I? I am subject to guilt. Who am I? I am subject to hurt. And so, therefore, here, it is the Shastra. After having studied the Shastra, or while you are studying the Shastra, this, helped by the Shastra, this question is much more meaningful. You can have this sadhana, you can have this when you have the support of the Guru and the Shastra. Otherwise, it can take you off on a tangent because the ahankara is extremely tricky. And so, therefore, this is, so this kind of a sadhana must be done with great care and with the help of Vedanta Shastra. So then he concludes the second verse. Sarvottama ahammati shunya nishtha. Sarvottama nishtha ahammati shunya. So then the best nishtha means abidance. The best kind of abidance in the I is the one that is devoid of this subjectivity. Ahammati shunya nishtha sarvottama. Devoid of this subjectivity, then what happens? Then the I is very much present. The subjectivity is gone. The subjectivity is a remnant of is a spin-off of Atma Ajnanam. And then when that subjectivity is gone, with the help of the light of knowledge, then one can have this abidance in this very, very easily. How to do that? We can incorporate some meditative practices for that, and then we can in fact do that right now. since this is what is been advised in this shastra also. So let us just put the books away. If you have any for taking notes, sit in a comfortable position, hands clasped gently on the lap, eyes softly closed. Pay attention right now to the breathing without altering the breathing, without making it heavy, light, long, short. Just allow the breath to go in and come out at its will. Gentle observation directed to the breath. Observe the in breath with the stomach, abdomen, stomach, and chest rising gently and then falling with every out breath or exhalation. Dhyata kaha, who is the meditator? Let us say the meditation is a simple, conscious entity. Notice how, after a few rounds of breathing consciously, the mind naturally becomes quiet. We can help the mind's quietude with a few affirmations. Right now, I have nothing to do. Right now, there is nowhere to go. Now, there is nothing to accomplish. Now, there is no pressure to do anything or to make a decision. Right now, I am free just to be me. Head, neck, and spine or in a single straight line. And now take the time to soften my demeanor. Eyes softly closed. Soft is the face with no wrinkles in the brow or in the eyelids. Just like the Buddha in meditation, I look peaceful. The face is tranquil. The tongue is heavy in the mouth. Lips are soft. The chest, as it goes up and down while it breathes, is soft. The whole body is soft. The breathing is soft. Soft are the thoughts that fall into the mind like snowflakes, very softly. They come, they sit, they melt. Soft is the eye that is meditating. And the thoughts challenge to take over the mind. Softly allow the thoughts to leave, to come and go. Be in the position of the Sakshi, the witness. Thoughts come, thoughts go. I am here forever. Let the thoughts come, let the thoughts go. I am untouched by them. The observer is not affected by anything that is observed. Free of the body I am, free of the mind, free of the senses. Every thought is a doorway to subjectivity. That is why I don't try to follow the thoughts or stop the thoughts. I just am and allow the thoughts to come, thoughts to go. What stays is I. What enables me to objectify the thoughts? I. This conscious being, I, is the whole, is connected to the whole. Cause of the universe, Ishvara. In the meditation, this is highlighted. The connection is highlighted in the form of a chant. Today we can use Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya, and to that which is the most auspicious. Namaha, my surrender, my salutations. Om, a sound of blessing, the truth of Lord Shiva. Nirguna, free of attributes. Consciousness. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 pick up the chant again and make sure I pay attention to the spaces between the chants, which is where the distraction is most likely to take place. Listen to the chant as I chant, and you can pick it up silently as soon as I stop. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om. Allow the chant to stop. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to accomplish, nothing to lose, nothing to gain. I am that awareness which is life beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond the senses, beyond all boundaries. I am that awareness, Satchidananda. Asangoham, asangoham, asangoham punah punah. Satchidanandoham, ahameva aham avyayah. Not connected I am to this body. Body derives its being from me, a formless, nameless awareness, Chit, which is Sat, whose nature is Ananta, free of limitations. The mind derives its being from I, Satchidananda, that consciousness which is unfettered, free of sorrow, free of guilt, free of fear. The body derives its being from that consciousness, immortal and eternal. The senses draw their being from the light of that consciousness which is Chit, sentient, all knowing. I am a knowing being. Without a second. Sorrow cannot touch me because it is a shadow that I, the light, cast. Shadow cannot cancel the light that is me. Fear, anger, avarice, pain, guilt, hurt cannot touch me. I am the observer of all of them. Sorrow is because I am. Sorrow is an interloper. Fear is an impostor masquerading as the I. Let the mind sink into the heart. Let my presence pervade everything without becoming any one thing. Let me lose my smallness. And see how big I really am. Simple, conscious, awareful being, as though the indweller of this body, the indweller of all bodies, Eko Devaha, a single effulgent being, Sarva Bhuteshu Bodhaha, hidden in all beings, Sarva Vyapi, all pervasive, Sarva Bhutantaratma, the innermost self in all beings, Karmadhyaksha, the one who dispenses the law of karma, that Ishvara, Sarva Bhutadhivasaha, that Ishvara I am, who has entered into all of creation. Sakshi, the witness I am. Cheta, in whose presence everything comes to light. Kevalaha, only one of its kind. Nirgunascha, without form, without name, all names and forms, surrender to which are upkept by which itself is free of name and form. This is the truth of the I. This is the nature of the meditator. I am comfortable being myself. If this is true, acknowledge that to yourself. I am comfortable being myself. This means that I do not need anybody else to comfort me. Perhaps I can be a source of comfort to others also. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. When you're ready, you can slowly open the eyes. More we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti
Hari Om Shri Guru
Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,